In Bethesda games, crime usually works the same way, at least more or less. Commit a crime and you either get attacked by the entire town or thrown in jail. Well, today I wanted to discuss Starfield's crime system, as I believe it may work a little bit differently than what we're used to in Bethesda Game Studios games. You see, with every faction running different planets, such as the United Colonies running New Atlantis in planet Jemison, and the Freestar Collective running Aquila City and so on, crime may work differently depending on the planet and who it's owned by. Or at least we can hope, because personally I don't think it makes much sense to have the same crime system on every single planet, especially if every planet is owned by different factions, like I just said. So what I'm getting at is where the United Colonies may throw you in jail or attack you depending on what crime you've committed, the Freestar Collective may just ban you from Aquila City and be done with it, and the Crimson Fleet will probably just straight up kill you. So you see what I mean, it makes sense for these factions who own certain places to run said places a little bit differently from each other, since they all have different views and opinions, much like how countries have different laws on Earth. You see how in Skyrim if we commit a crime, most of the time a guard will run up to us and try and arrest us, and we can either basically resist, aka fight, or we can bribe them, or we can agree to go to jail. Whereas in Fallout 4, if you commit a crime in Diamond City or Goodneighbor, no matter what it is, you just straight up start getting shot at, which kinda makes sense for the Wasteland despite Diamond City literally having its own jail cell, but whatever. So you see my point, Bethesda have created different types of crime systems in their games, but they're all sort of the same. I feel like Starfield will have entirely new ones, especially with Creation Engine 2 being a thing. Hopefully Bethesda can now do even more in-depth systems. And I have to imagine that bounties will be returning from Skyrim, so you commit a crime and get a bounty on your head. That makes sense, considering Bethesda have called Starfield a quote-unquote Han Solo simulator. And how many times did Han Solo have a bounty on his head, right? And of course that is exactly my point. Some factions likely won't bother with bounties. For example, a faction such as the Freestar Collective probably don't bother giving people bounties. They're apparently peacekeepers, so they will likely banish you from Aquila City and just attack you if you come back, or throw you in some kind of jail. But at the same time, it could go both ways, because I can also see the Freestar Collective collecting and issuing bounties in order to try and make the galaxy safer. Real quick, I hope you don't mind me saying, but I just want to say that this video was recommended to me by a good friend of ours on the Discord. If you aren't a part of our Discord yet, you can join via the link in either the pinned comment or the description. We have lots of Starfield, Elder Scrolls and Fallout discussions. You can suggest video ideas to me, share your memes, visit our Not Safe for Work channel, which is lively to say the least, share your pet pictures and so much more. So if you are interested, you are more than welcome to join us. But anyway, let's get back to the video. One faction I definitely think will have a prison system much like Skyrim's, just hopefully more in-depth and detailed, is the United Colonies, because according to Bethesda, New Atlantis is the biggest city they've ever created, so I have to imagine that they have some kind of jail. Now whether we will actually get a jail system or whether it will be like Fallout 4's Diamond City jail where it's just kind of there is a different question, but honestly if you ask me, I think we will definitely get a jail system for the United Colonies in New Atlantis. Fallout 4's jail system feels like it was scrapped, like I imagine Bethesda wanted to include a jail system in Diamond City and just didn't for whatever reason. So going back to bounties, which obviously we touched on earlier, when it comes to bounties I would love to see Bethesda go really in detail with bounties, much like how Red Dead Redemption 2 did. I've spoken about this before, but learning about what a person actually did, tracking them down, having a conversation with them sometimes, literally tying them up and throwing them on the back of your horse and returning them to the law is so much better than the usual go to location, kill and come back quests that we get in most Bethesda games. Obviously in Starfield we won't be throwing people on the back of a horse. I would like to be able to tie people up in the back of our ships and fly them to the United Colonies or whoever issued the bounty. Honestly, I unfortunately doubt Bethesda will do this, but I would still love to see it. I will be a little bit disappointed if every bounty quest is the same, it's just us following a waypoint, killing whoever we're meant to find, and again I would just really love to see Bethesda step their game up when it comes to this type of crime. Honestly, I think either way, Starfield will definitely have some kind of new crime system, because it just makes sense for Bethesda to do. Also, when you consider that Todd Howard has been dreaming of making Starfield for like 25 years, you have to imagine he's thought of new ways to handle crime in their games. One of the best memories I have of Skyrim, for example, was discovering how to escape all of the different jails, whether it was by simply picking the lock, escaping through a secret tunnel, or bribing a guard for the key, finally escaping the cells and sneaking around to try and find your your gear in the evidence chest for the first time just felt really good, so I hope that we get that feeling again when playing Starfield. Going back to the Crimson Fleet, I think that their crime system will very likely be simple. You break the rules and they attack and try and kill you. That just makes sense, especially considering when you join the Crimson Fleet, the only way out is death.
When you sign up with the Crimson Fleet, no one quits. The only way out is death.
But again, it really all depends on how Bethesda want to handle it. We also have to ask the question, what will happen if we dock into another person's ship, like we're doing in this clip here, and kill the pilot? If we're in a galaxy not owned by anyone, are we allowed to do that, or is it still a crime? If so, who quote-unquote punishes us for that crime? I think we all have about 101 questions about Starfield, and for me, a lot of them do come down to this crime system. I am really curious about it. Obviously, Starfield is a space exploration game, so crime probably isn't even in the top 5 or even top 10 things that Bethesda need to nail when it comes to Starfield, but it's something that I still think is very important for the game, especially for the case of immersion. I want to go to random planets and steal things, smuggle them from galaxy to galaxy in my ship, hoping not to get caught. As said earlier, Bethesda have called Starfield a Han Solo simulator, so you have to imagine we can at least smuggle things. I definitely think there will be a smuggling faction, perhaps that's the Crimson Fleet, but who knows. We know that Neon's Aurora drug is only legal in Neon, so smuggling that into New Atlantis or Aquila City also makes sense, and that's a quest I would bet is definitely in the game, even if we can only just do it once. But like I said, it all depends on how Bethesda want to handle the game. Hopefully we'll find out soon. Anyway, that is going to do it for me today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do drop it a like. It really helps out smaller channels like myself more than you can imagine. And of course, if you are new to our little community around here, please consider subscribing. We'd love to have you join us, and your support would truly mean the world. Again, if you do want to join our Discord, the invite link is in the pinned comment below and the description. But with all of that said and done, thank you all so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in the next one.